What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to DylanTalksTone 2. I want to talk today about use case. Let me share this comment with you. And no direct shade on this comment, but it made me think to have this conversation and ask the question. He says, what an instrument sounds like on its own is pointless. What does it sound like at full volume with the full mix? Most gear demos are of gear in a vacuum, which makes no sense to me. The EQ of my gear is always dependent on the mix and the song's content, not the content of Joe YouTuber playing with who knows what signal chain with no reference mix. Okay. It sounds like this dude takes himself very seriously as a studio musician. Now, we're not sure if Joe Commenter on YouTube is a serious studio musician or not, but that's beside the point. He might be basement dweller Cheeto Puff eater. We're not sure. But let's take him at face value and say that he is a serious studio musician, in which case it is important to him to be to hear things in a mix. Okay, so I have a couple of questions as a result of this that I want to ask you, and I would like you to answer in the comments. How many of you require your instruments to be in a full mix to get the right impression of them? How many of you play on a regular basis in a live mix situation, whether that be in the studio or in a band? What percentage of you are playing at home, in your living room, in your studio? And by studio, I mean your study, your office, your basement, your back porch, your whatever, your personal studio, like whatever that is for you. Is that, this is my office. My studio's over there where I shoot the videos, but you understand what I'm saying. Whatever room that is that your studio? Do you play your guitar the majority of the time home alone by yourself? So breaking down this comment again with those questions in mind, what an instrument sounds like on its own is pointless is a gross generalization, obviously, because if you're by yourself all the time and you like playing by yourself and that's what you want the guitar to sound like is that, then that makes a lot of sense. Full volume also is very impractical for a lot of folks because we don't get to play at full volume. I live in a neighborhood. I have a half acre, and I'm still too close to my neighbors to have a tube amp at full chat. You know what I mean? So let me know what you think. I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious. This is something that I've been thinking about, and we may actually do a podcast on it. I might make a little short on the big channel and ask people this question, but dive into this if you would. And a full mix. Define full mix. Like, what is a full mix? Do you quad your guitars? Do you play your guitar tracks at home by yourself 4 times and then pan 2 of them to the left and 2 of them to the right and do the whole thing in 30 milliseconds? And you know what I mean? Like, okay, like, all right. What is that? Most gear demos are of gear in a vacuum, which makes no sense to me. I mean, it's a guy playing a demo, so I don't know that that's in a vacuum. I'm listening to it. We're all listening to it. The EQ of my gear is always dependent on the mix and the song's context. Agreed. I agree with that. But how many of us are playing in that context? That's an interesting. So we're talking about use case here. Not the context of Joe YouTuber playing with who knows what signal chain with no reference mix. What reference mix? Referencing what? So this is a funny thing to me. I always love how YouTube commenters expect that I'm going to read their mind and figure out, look through the camera and be like, oh, okay, so you live in a trailer in central Indiana, and you have a BC Rich Warlock, and a crate Blue Voodoo, and you like playing Def Leppard covers, with a metal zone until your mom gets home. I'm guessing. Or until you have to leave and deliver pizza. I'm not sure. Right? Like, I'm supposed to be able to read your mind through the camera. By the way, that scenario is a very specific. I'm not making fun of anyone. If you've ever seen Stranger Things, you'll know where I got that from. I was not actually making fun of any particular person, except for the guy that I wish didn't die on Stranger Things. Anyway, that being said, yes, so I think that is a weird thing to say. So my question to you is, I can't read your mind, so I would like you to answer the question. What is your use case? You know, we all do this. We love playing guitar. We love guitars. And to be honest with you, I spend most of my time making parts for guitars. I have very nice guitars, and I have some very cheap guitars too. And I like them because they're neat, right? I'm not touring anymore. I was. I'm not in a band presently. I was. I'm not doing, so, but it doesn't matter. Like, I still love this guitar and this guitar and this guitar, and I play them a lot, and I really enjoy them. But we're not talking about making the assumption that every person has enough experience and gear to, like, have John Bollinger come over and do a rig rundown is sort of ludicrous. So I would like to know what your use case is. And I think there's first of all, I want to say there's no wrong answer here, and there's no comparison here, and there's also no embarrassment. I think you should be proud. Say, I have 4 guitars, 3 guitars, 2 guitars, 1 guitar. It costs $350. I got it in a pawn shop, whatever, garage sale, doesn't matter. And I really like it, and I only play at home. And this is my inexpensive gear, and this is how I use it. And I only watch your channel because I think guitars are cool. I don't even know about any of this stuff. Like, there's no wrong answer. How involved you are in the hobby, how experienced a player you are, none of that matters. I just want to know how you use your guitar. That's what I want to know, because these assumptions are every day, and it makes me wonder. I bet the majority of us, we just chill out and play guitar, and sometimes we hang it over there on the stand and we're like, that's a cool guitar, and we don't even play it. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious.